Alright, before we get started with the next part of this tutorial, I wanted to show you guys something I made for you. And this is going to help me make a little bit of money just to, keep the tutorial going. So here we have my Amazon store page, and this is for the suit tutorial. This is all of the stuff that I'll be using for the tutorial, except for like the fabric, which I'll link in the description. And if you hover over these guys, you can see what each purpose of the items are. For example, this shows the percentages of the mixtures and stuff like that. So hopefully that helps out. And yeah, enjoy the next part of the tutorial. All right. So my hair is a lot longer, but we are back. It's been a few months. I basically redid my whole pattern base, and this pattern will be for sale. As far as making patterns, it's pretty much the same. The only thing that's different is kind of like how the mask works, but we can always go on a tutorial over that once I know this base works. It's very experimental right now. I know the boots and gloves and everything work. Main thing is just going to be the neck area right here. I'm not sure how that's going to work out yet, but hopefully it will be okay. We're going to start here by printing this. And what we're doing is actually detached gloves for this suit. So if you want to make your pattern like that, feel free to follow along. I haven't decided if I want the boots to be detached or attached yet, but they're probably going to be detached. I do that so it's easier to like kind of get in the shoes. And you can like kind of store stuff inside your boots, like some cash or something. So we're gonna go here and print. So this is Adobe Acrobat Reader DC. It's free. And what you need to do is click poster. And then what you need to do is go over here and select your printer. And then what this is basically gonna do, it is going to slice up all of your pages into separate pages, and then you can print. And then what you'll do is cut these out and tape them together, and I'm kind of going to show you guys how to do that. So let's go ahead and print this. And I'll be back once it's printed, because there's no point for me to be here while it's printing. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright, so our papers are printed out now. So now what I like to do is start laying some of them out flat so we know which pieces go where. So for example, here's the first one. And then we have the second one here, just so you start getting some full pieces. So there we go, and I'm sure you can kind of already see how this is going to work here. So what we have right now is already enough to start like doing some pieces. So I'm going to start with the mask. Alright, you're upside down there, but you kind of know what's going on. So get yourself a good pair of scissors for this project. Usually the good ones are like the orange scissors. I have those for like sewing. But if you're doing it on a budget, I just wanted to recommend these like Betty Crocker scissors. I think you can get them at like the Dollar Tree. They'll cut right through spandex. So that's pretty good because, you're going to be cutting a lot of spandex. Let's cut out some of these pieces. So this is going to be the mask right here. So we're going to cut this out. Alright, so notice on this piece how I left some white on the edge there and on this edge as well. That is because we are going to tape on top of it. So, for example, on this piece right here, I'm going to cut that white part off. So it lines up perfectly on our pattern here. And this is just a light table that I made. It's like a big storage tote. And then I just bought like a $10 LED strip and made it go around twice. And now I can trace my fabric no problem because I can see right through this. Once I lay the fabric on. That's why I make these black and white. So now we're going to cut out the rest of our top two pieces, so this and this. And something you can always do is leave the white edges on the pieces and then cut them off after, so you don't have to worry about which ones you're going to cut off and which ones you're not going to cut off. So for example, see, I left the white edges here, but now I know that this white edge is going to get cut off because it's going to lay on top of this one. And the reason you want a light table, besides making it extremely easy to puff paint, it's just so much easier to line things up because you can see through the pieces since they're just like thin paper. And then what you're going to need is your tape, Scotch tape, and then we're going to carefully tape this on here. So just try your best. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna draw the webs by hand anyway. Well, puff paint them by hand. So you can always make cleaner lines once you're finished here. And then you want to just peel it back up and then you kind of want to fold the tape in on itself. That's not absolutely perfect right there. So next what we can do is cut out this next little piece right here. Alright, and then always save the rest of your paper because that's with your other pieces, so you don't want to lose which order they're in. And then I find with the little pieces, here's a good method you can do. So first you want to cut off that white part, and then lay your other piece down. But I just find it works really good with little pieces. It's really easy to just line it up. There we go. And try your best to keep these things flat. I know they will want to curl up a little bit, but it's going to be a lot easier when it comes time to, you know, trace it on the fabric that, you know, you're careful with it. So sometimes you will have the tape stick to the paper, but since it's Scotch tape, it peels off with ease, so just be careful when you peel it back off. And then you don't have to worry about like ripping your paper or anything where, you know, some other tapes might be a little too strong. Pieces like this left over, you can trim them if you want. I probably will just so it looks nice, but you don't have to, and that is because you're gonna be seeing through this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then as far as like the tape overlapped right here, what you can do to just get rid of that easily is cut the tape in the middle like this. Kind of want to cut along the curve as well, like this. Little tabs will fold nicely onto the curve. So there's the top half done. Slide that to the side. We can get some of our bottom pieces going. For example, my boots and gloves are going to be detached. So I'm probably going to want to keep my boot, glove, and mask pattern. So for example, if I want to make another mask that I want to glue some lenses to, or let's say my boots get really dirty, I can just make a new pair of boots. Or let's say my gloves get ripped from all the posing, I can just make a new pair of gloves. So that's what's good about having a suit that has different pieces. Whereas if you have a one-piece suit, if your gloves would get messed up, well, you gotta either get a whole new suit or just kind of deal with it. Also, puff painting takes forever, and you want to do the least amount of puff painting as you can, honestly, because I mean that's the hardest part of this whole thing, in my opinion. There's no way to get it perfect ever, but you can get pretty close. But you can get pretty perfect with sewing, because that's just, you know, that's just practice. But the puff paint, you know, you'll have air bubbles and things like that where you can't really, you know, you can't control that. And I'm not going to show you how to do every single piece of paper. I'm not even going to record myself doing it. And then trim off the white on this, because this one we're going to leave the white on. So you always want one with the white border and then one without it, so they kind of like line up nice, especially if you don't have a light table. But you're definitely going to need to build one or find a glass table if you have one in your house. There's bunches of ways you can do it, but you definitely need some sort of light table for this tutorial, unless you can figure out a different way. And if you do, definitely tell the people in the comments. But this is the best way I've found to do it. Eventually I'm going to get like a glass desk and then put some LEDs up in it, so I don't have to, you know, sit on my bed. I mean, it definitely gets the job done. It just could be a lot better. I'm going to trim the white off of the top piece here. They're pretty much the same size, but this has like weird flaps on it, and I don't want them to get messed up. And if anyone has any recommendations, what they want to see, always leave a comment down below, because, you know, that's how I know what's up. Or DM me on Instagram, something like that, and then I'll be able to show you guys how to do specific things like that. But I'm pretty much going to show you everything you need to make a suit. I will be using this pattern base to sew my suit, so I'm not going to show you how to sew a Raimi mask. If you really want it, I'll do it, but I don't really intend to do that, as of right now, at least. So yeah, like this isn't perfect right here, but just get it as close as you can. Main thing is just the web lines, so try to get your middle web line pretty perfect, and then the ones on the edges, you know, they'll just do whatever they want to do. So now we have our mask, or at least the front of it. We still have another side piece that we got to do, but we are gonna do this and do that side piece, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to mix some puff paint. But that's gonna be in a different video, but I'll probably post it at the same time because I'm gonna do it all tonight anyway. Alright, now that we're finished with that, we are going to head on to puff painting next. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there is some Amazon links in the description. So if you want to do that, every purchase helps, and you're going to need it anyway, so you might as well just buy it through me. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.